Hello everybody, I am Patches and welcome to Banished. This has actually got some pretty nice music, so let's just turn that up a little. Now, I don't really know much about this game. It was on sale on Steam and looked pretty interesting. Basically, I think you're building a new town, you've been banished from wherever you were and you're creating your own town, your own food source and all that. So let's just start with the tutorial and see what we got. Okay, welcome to Banished. In this game you control a group of exiled travelers who decide to restart their lives in a new land. You'll have to help them survive. Press the next button to continue. At any time during the tutorial you can access the options menu by pressing the door or the escape button. From the options menu you can save and load your progress, change settings or exit the game. First, get familiar with moving around. Alright, so you can just move around with the usual keys. Oh, we got some deer. You can also move the mouse to the edges. Okay. You can control the view by pressing Q and E. Ah, so you can spin around. That's gonna be interesting. You can zoom in with the camera by using instantly. Okay. Not much of a zoom really. Oh, but you can zoom out much further. But you can use the wheel anyway, so that's easier really. You can change the pitch of the camera by pressing page up and page down. Okay. All the keyboard keys. So yeah, we can change them afterwards. Now that you're familiar with the movement controls, it's time to start playing. The people you control need 3 things to survive: shelter, food, and a way to keep warm in the winter. How about water? You might notice that some people have the icon of a house floating above their heads. This means that the townsfolk don't have a place to live. You can provide the townsfolk with places to live by building homes for them. First, select the housing menu on the toolbar. Okay, so there's going to be lots of little buttons that do different things, so I might actually take some notes of these, because playing one episode a week or one episode every couple of weeks of this particular game, it's going to be hard to remember what all these buttons are. Alright, so housing menu gives us a house, and we'll chop down the tree, I guess. Placing a building will leave a footprint where it will be built. To get the townsfolk to start constructing, you have to collect wood and stone. You can cut down trees and remove rocks from the landscape by using... Okay, so they're all down here anyway. Using the mouse, click in one corner highlighted area and then drag the mouse to the other corner. So this is actually a pretty big space. Use the mouse, click in one corner, okay, so it's all just drag up the areas. Townsfolk will move the harvested rock and trees to the stack pile. Once there are materials in the stack pile, people will move logs and stones to construction locations. Well, they seem to just be going straight to the construction locations. While any townspeople can cut down a tree or move materials from one place to another, some jobs require specialised workers. In the case, let's bring that down a bit. In the case of constructions, you'll need to assign builders. Okay, let's assign some builders then, shall we? Can I assign more? Guess not. The builders can now begin constructing the house. Just one house isn't enough though. You'll need 3 more houses to give the families a place to live. Once again, click on the houses. So, we need a few more houses. Okay, T or R. Okay, so I can actually choose which way I want it to go. Okay. So we've got our little housing areas set up. And we can speed up. Goodbye rain. What about here? This is cute. Deer and stag obviously have no concerns about all the destruction and construction being going around. So let's get that for house. That's cute. Right, so... Oh, what's Snowflake mean? Cold? He's got a fire going. So while they're just constructing that, I might take this chance to have a little talk about the channel and how I'm going. So, as you guys probably can tell, I need to work on my commentary a bit. And I do realise this, I guess I'm not really used to doing a lot of this, and it's taking a bit for me to build up my confidence and kind of get used to it and work out what to do with all the commentary and this. And especially at the moment, I've also just started a new job, so I have a lot less time than when I initially started the channel. Great, you're building houses for all the townsfolk. That may have seemed like a lot of work for a few hours, but now you know how to build anything. To build any structures, place a building footprint. The citizens will clear the area and then collect enough resources to build the structure. As long as there are citizens assigned as builders, they'll take care of the rest. The people are going to need food, otherwise they'll starve. They can acquire food in a various of ways. They can hunt, gather and fish, plant crops, grow orchards, or raise livestock. If the people are close to starving to death, the hunger icon will appear in their heads, above the heads. Alright, so let's get you guys fishing. Oh, let's turn around so we can see what we're doing. So you need to face that way. And now we need to assign some fishermen, yes? How many do you want me to assign? You may notice that the question mark icon above some citizens. This means that the workers you got just assigned don't have a place to work. As soon as the fishing dock is complete, they'll start working there and the icon will disappear. Okay. So exit out there. And we're back to speeding up, I think. Okay, so I've got a lot less time to get all these recordings made and edited and to work on my commentary and my gaming and let's play skills than when I first started the channel. And what I had hoped to do to start off with was to slowly build up to a video a day, which at this point isn't really all that likely to be able to be done. At this point I'm actually finding it a bit hard to do 3 videos in a lot of cases. So I'm just going to leave it at 3 videos a week for a while and see how I go. I might just leave it at 3 videos altogether. I may slowly build up over time just at a slower pace than I had first anticipated. But I just wanted to say that for those who are coming to my channel, who are watching these videos, even with my very poor just beginning commentary, that I do really appreciate you guys coming and watching it. And if you guys have any feedback, like, don't be afraid to give me feedback. If you think I needed to do better commentary, if you think I should have looked into something a bit more in a game, do let me know. Like, I would appreciate that kind of information and feedback from you guys, because these videos are as much for me as they are for you guys, even more so for you guys, really. So we're going to build us a little path. Oh, okay, it just does go around the corner. Come on. There we go. So we got a nice little dirt path for them to walk. I suppose that makes it a bit faster for them. The same builders that constructed buildings will prepare the roads for you. After they perform constructions, the townsfolk will move faster when travelling on roads. As the town grows and workers produce food and other resources from many locations, it's useful to see an overview of what the town has available. The information can be found down here in this little guide. So at this point we have 9 stored tools, 4 stored clothing, we have 31 wood and 25 stone, and it's currently 80 degrees. Well, maybe that's Fahrenheit, because 80 degrees would be beyond killing everyone. Okay, so I need to click on that. No? Next, thank you. Alright, so we need to build us a little farm. If you look at the overview tool, you can see that there aren't enough logs to build a storage barn. You'll have to cut down more trees. So we want this one and this one. So there. No. People also need a way to stay warm in the winter. The easiest way to do that is to cut logs into firewood. To do this, you need a place for a woodcut to work. Okay. If the townsfolk are in danger of freezing to death, this icon will appear above their heads. Well, it's not above their heads, it's above their houses. If they are overly cold, the people will return home or go to the closest warm building they can find. This icon will also appear over houses that don't have any firewood available for heating. Okay. So we're back to speeding up then. Alright, so let's just let this all go down. All stacks are leaving. Pretty good workers. But then that's probably just because I've got everything sped up quite a bit. It'd be good if we could catch some of the deer and use them for farming. Use them as livestock and keep them while there's still a bit of a herd here and breed them through, but at the tutorial stage we must follow the tutorial. It literally won't let me press anything else, so... Okay, so what do we got? Increase workers. A worker will now start producing firewood. He or she will move logs from stack piles to the building and cut them into firewood. The rest of the townsfolk will use the firewood to heat their homes. Now that the storage barn is built, the cart that the people arrived with is no longer needed. You can remove it and anything else you build using the destruction. Okay, goodbye cart. Does it really take that long to destroy a cart? You could technically still use it, but obviously not in this game's processing. There we go, now houses are getting the firewood they need. With some maintenance and a little luck, a small town like this will survive for many years. The children will grow up, become workers, and have children of their own. New houses can be built and the town can continue to expand. Question mark. You can read some of the help references or press the next button. Let's just go next. Our little town grew. As the town grows, additional specialized buildings can help make survival easier. In this tutorial, you'll build working areas for blacksmiths, tailors, builds, and foresters. Starting with blacksmith from the looks of it. And let's speed up again. What's it doing? Really? Okay. Yeah. It's in the town. And they've got a good supply of stone wood at the moment. Where we got? Wait, going back, hold on. I don't think that's the next thing's ready. Alright, so all workers need tools to effectively do their jobs. If a citizen doesn't have a tool, the following icon will appear over their heads. I don't currently see any. Tools eventually wear out and need to be replaced, but the blacksmith can make new tools. Okay. The blacksmith will use logs and iron to make new tools. Here you can see the inventory of what the blacksmith has in storage for making tools. If you run out of materials, the blacksmith won't be able to do any work. Very well. You can also control how many tools to make and put in storage by setting a limit. If the building isn't producing goods because the limit has been hit, the limit icon will appear over the building. How many tools do you want me to allow? This seems an excessive amount of tools. I don't think we need to make that many tools, surely. Okay. I think we need to bring this down a bit. I don't see why you would need that many tools. Let's bring it back to something a little more... Well, I don't really know what would be realistic, but let's just bring it back to about 2,000 at least. Okay. You can enable and disable work at a location by toggling this button. Okay. You can also change the product that the blacksmith makes. Using logs, iron and coal, the blacksmith can produce steel tools that last longer than iron tools. Okay. Do we have all those things though? Presuming so, with it being a tutorial. During the winter months, town folks stay warm by occasionally returning to their heated homes. With the tailor, you can help the workers ward off the cold and stay outside longer by crafting better clothing. The tailor can use leather or wool to make clothing, or a combination of both to make the best clothing. If you run out of the needed materials, the tailor won't be able to work. When this occurs, the following icon will appear above the building. And the herbalist will collect herbs from the surrounding forests and will help the townsfolk stay healthy. The yellow icon on the ground around the building shows the area that the herbalist will search for herbs. Okay. Citizens need a variety of foods to stay healthy, such as meat, vegetables, fruit, and game. grain. If the townsfolk are not healthy, they are more prone to disease. Herbs collected by the herbalist can be used to help keep the townsfolk healthy if their diet is poor. Herbs usually only grow near old trees. This is something to keep in mind when you place an herbalist building. What do we got here? The forage. Rather than constantly clearing areas of trees to produce firewood, the worker at a forest logs will maintain the forest for you. Workers will plant new trees and cut down old trees in an area around the building. The yellow circle on the ground around the forest lodge shows the area that the forest will work. You can enable and disable the cutting of trees. When cutting is disabled, no trees will be cut down. You can also enable and disable the planting of trees. When planting is disabled, no new sproutlings will be planted around the building. Forest will also remove rocks and ore that is in their working area to make room for more trees to be planted. By using these buildings, you can help make sure the citizens have tools, warm clothing for the winter, good health, and replenishable forests. Press next to play the next tutorial. There are many ways to produce food for the citizens of your town. Hunting, fishing, and gathering can be used to harvest foods from the environment, or you can clear the land and plant orchards, growing crops, and raise stock. So, similar to hunters, gatherers search for and collect food that is grown in the forest. Select the gatherer's hunting hut from the menu by pressing the leafy button. Farmers can work in a field and grow crops. To place one, select the crop field from the menu. Farmers can also work in an orchard that produces fruit and nuts. To place one, press the tree icon. This crop field is currently disabled as indicated by the following icon. Select the crop field by clicking on it. Let's grow wheat. In the spring, workers will plant seeds in the fields, and in the autumn they harvest the crop. You can direct them to harvest early by selecting the harvest button. After planting, the yield margin will show how mature the growing plants are and can be used as a gauge to determine how much food will be produced. You can disable or enable work at the crop fields by toggling the select button. Let's grow apples. Sign 6. Farmers will plant trees and they will grow over time. It may take several years for the trees to produce fruit. That's a long time. You can cut down all the trees in the orchard for wood or when you want to produce a different type of fruit. You can disable or enable working in the orchard by toggling the work button. And sheep. If you want to move all the animals from this pasture into another pasture, you can press the empty button. To do this, you'll have to create another pasture that can hold all the animals. If you want to split the herd in order to increase the number of animals, you can press the split button. To do this, you will have to have space in other pastures that can hold the animals. You can also disable and enable working on this particular area as well. If there are too many animals in the pasture, herdmen will slaughter them for meat. You can control how many animals are kept in the pasture by changing the value of the slider. Okay. Where are we? So now we're just speeding everything up and getting all our little areas built. So, what's wrong with this one? Can't seem to do anything with it anyway. Hunting cabin. Hunters will search the area around the hunting cabin in search of wild game. In addition to providing meat, hunting deer can provide leather, which can be used at the tailors to make clothing. You can disable and enable working hunting cabins by toggling the work button. At any food producing location, you can control the maximum amount of food to produce. Once the amount of food is stored reaches the limit, the workers will cease working. Well, at this point I don't know how much food the workers will need. Gatherers will search the area around the building in search of food that grows in the forest. As long as there is forest nearby, gatherers can be a good choice at the first type of food production to use in a town, as it provides a variety of food quickly. Fishing? Each building that produces food tracks how many resources are produced each year. Click on the button to determine. Okay. So we got more fish last time, but this one's stone this time. The current season display shows how many resources have been produced so far during the current year. The previous one shows how much was produced the year before. As particular grows, you'll need to expand food production to keep the citizens from starving. Producing a variety of foods types will help keep the citizens happy and healthy. Press the next button and go on to the next tutorial. Oh no, sorry, to go to the main menu. So that is the end of our tutorials. Maybe. A trading post can be used to acquire new crop seeds, fruit seeds, livestock, food, and many other items. Once a trading post has been built, different types of merchants will arrive with goods to sell. The trading post has already been built for you. Click on the trading post building to view its details. A trading post needs to be built on a river or on a lake that connects to the larger river running through the town. If it isn't, merchants won't be able to get their boats to the trading post, so they'll come by boats from the looks of it. Before you can make a trade with a merchant, you need the stock to trade post with the goods you wish to sell. Any resources that have been produced by the town can be traded. Okay. While the workers are moving inventory to fill the trading post, you can speed up the game. Alright, so you have to fill the trading post with what you want to sell. From berries, fish, hides, iron tools, logs, onions, roots, venice, firewood, herbs, iron, leather, mushrooms, potatoes, and stone. There's a few others there that don't have options, so there must be more there we can trade with yet. Chickens. Okay. You can now see the chickens you've bought in the fenced area attached to the trading post. If you have a pasture set up for chickens, they'll move into it. Since you've made a trade, the workers will start refilling the trading post inventory. Purchase mode determines if and when the traders will make a trade for you. Okay. You can set the maximum number of items to purchase in several categories. Am I meant to be setting that too? I don't know if I'm meant to be setting it to anything. If you set more than one item to be automatically purchased, you can change the priority of which item to buy first by moving the categories up or down. Categories at the top of the list will be purchased first. The order mode determines if any order is being placed or if it is a recurring order. Just one. Okay, so when you set up what you want to purchase, you can determine whether or not you want it to be every time or just the one time. So if you're getting low on one item, you can set a trade to be done for just once. The available item a merchant can bring will be displayed. To place an order, click and highlight the item you want the merchant to bring during the next visit. Okay. Merchants have limited space in their boats, so if you order too many items at once, they may not bring them all. Items brought from a current order will cost more than normal. Okay. Trades can be great ways to acquire items that the town is lacking or can't yet produce. This includes the trade tutorial. Press exit to exit to the main menu. So, that is all of our tutorials, and I think that is going to be the end of this episode. So, I'm definitely going to get into this. I'm going to just record it straight after this, but you guys won't see it for a little while. So next time we'll start our very own little town and see how we go. So until then, have fun. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!